Spotlight on Bensenville. I'm Frank DeSimone, Village President and your host for today's episode. In this segment, we'll be discussing Bensenville's Senior Disabled HVAC Maintenance Program. Joining us are Kim Bush, Recreation Program Manager, and Lyle Perkins, Residential Division Manager for Comfort Indoor Solutions. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
Kim, the Village of Bensenville offers our Senior Disabled HVAC Maintenance Program. Can you share a little bit about how the program works and who it's designed to help?
Certainly. It is a great program. It's for up to 100 Bensenville Incorporated residents, seniors 60 or older, or disabled. Also looking for people who are in need. So the requirements are $65,000 or less a year, pay Bensenville property taxes, obviously, or have that disabled placard there. So gives them a nice discount on yearly maintenance that they should be doing already anyways.
Absolutely.
Lyle, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Frank.
What should Bensenville families know about staying safe, comfortable in their homes with their heating system during the winter? And what warning signs would you say a furnace would show for a professional intervention?
Sure. So it's critical that, and it's often overlooked. People take for granted that they have heat in the winter. They turn the furnace on, and there you go. It's really important to keep the furnace well maintained, keep it clean, and make sure that the filters are changed on a regular basis. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that again further down here, but it's really, really important to keep an eye on anything that doesn't seem right, whether it's loud noises, different odors that are coming that you wouldn't necessarily see under normal circumstances, noises, rattling, what we call short cycling, where you hear the furnace turning on and off frequently. Those are the kinds of things that people should be aware of, and if they are experiencing that, definitely reach out and call an HVAC professional to come out and take a look at it.
Explain the risks of carbon monoxide during the winter months and what steps homeowners should be taking to protect their homes.
Sure. So this is a very, very critical safety issue. So as you all know, carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas that in large quantities in poorly ventilated areas can create illness and even, dare I say, death. Carbon monoxide is produced by those appliances that use combustion or combustible gases to operate. So it's absolutely critical that the residents have carbon monoxide detectors by every bedroom possible, and certainly in areas in and around those appliances, their furnace, utility rooms, things of that nature.
How often should residents schedule heat system inspections, and what is typically included in a furnace tune-up?
Great question. Once a year. That's basically the norm, and that's certainly what we recommend. So in the kind of fall season is when it typically is a good time.
You mean not middle of December or when it's negative 30?
That is exactly the time not to wait until, because as we all know, that's when the systems break down, is at the worst possible time. So it really, to get ahead of it, when that time span from late summer to early fall is when they should schedule it. But again, it just has to be done once a year on the furnace, and the same with the air conditioner, which is a different season, but same thing, twice a year, once for the AC, once for the furnace.
Yeah, can I just say, they haven't done it yet. It's not too late,
it's
right?
It's never too late.
Good.
It's never too late.
Right.
Absolutely.
With all the homes sealed up in the winter, what indoor air quality issues are most common, and how can homeowners address those issues?
So I think we've all experienced some of the humidity issues in the winter, or lack of humidity, I should say, where you get the spark, you see your wood floors or your doorways or your wood cabinets start to shrink and warp. And then certainly airborne viruses tend to proliferate during the winter months. So when the air gets cold outside, it lacks humidity. When that air is brought in and then conditioned and heated, it lacks even that much more humidity, so the relative humidity drops pretty significantly, and that becomes a breeding ground for viruses, for areas in the house, again, that have wood products in that. So it's really important to make sure that your air is properly humidified. We typically recommend the sweet spots anywhere between 35 to 40% relative humidity, which you can set your humidifiers at if you have them. And anything over that probably is not a good thing, because you may start to see condensation on your windows, and then certain bacteria, again, tend to develop in high humidity areas. So there is a sweet spot there, and there are products, there are whole home humidifiers that can help meet those needs.
Let's talk about furnace filter changing the schedule. Do you recommend what do you recommend for the winter season? How often to change it, or actually year round? I've heard every 3 months. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, that's we get that question all the time, Frank. So it's not just you. It's typically depending on your specific circumstance. Do you have a lot of pets? Do you have a lot of kids? In the winter, about every 3 months, I would say. However, if you do have pets and you know, kids in the house, I would suggest checking it monthly. Yeah. There are different types of filters, though. That's the other question we get. You know, what is this MERV rating? You know, I see these MERV ratings, I see these thin filters, I see these thick filters. MERV rating is the minimum efficiency reporting value is what it stands for. And those ratings go from a low of 1 all the way up to 16. The lower numbers can capture the larger dust particles, but they don't capture the more microscopic and even certain types of viruses and things of that nature. The higher the MERV rating, the more of those types of particles that they do capture. There's a little bit of a trade-off, though. The thicker the filter, the
airflow, right?
The airflow gets a little bit more constricted, but they've made great gains recently where they are restricting less airflow at the higher MERV rating filters. So I would tell you, if you use those very thin fiberglass filters, change it monthly. If you're if you have a higher MERV rating filter, you can go every 3 months, and if they're like 4-inch thick, you can go every 6 months on those. I wouldn't go past 6 months. I know that a lot of, you'll see some companies say, oh, you can go a year. I would not recommend that. I would check that every 6 months.
Yeah, I have a big dog. I do every 3 weeks.
Yep.
Every 3 weeks.
I have 2 labs.
Like clockwork.
I have 2 labs at home. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Kim, what are some of the additional benefits for being a member of our Heritage Center and our Forever Young Club, and how can residents join who are not already members?
Oh, it's super easy to join. Just have to come in with proof of residency, and then it is free to join. Anybody that wants to be a member can be a member. Obviously, residents, incorporated residents, get a little bit more of a discount on some of our things that we do, but throughout the year we have fun programs and events, some small, some big, and then our monthly luncheons. We do offer some daily fitness classes each week, and each month we're adding more and more and new things all the time. So
yeah, we're rolling down there. It's coming along great.
Finally, yes,
Great job.
we're
Great
getting
job.
there. Yes, thank you.
You guys have a few minutes. We have to take a break.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
You're watching Bensenville TV, providing local government programming to residents 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, featuring board meetings, news, events, bulletin boards, and original programming about the services provided by our municipal government and affiliated organizations. Always on, offering community information anytime. To find out more, visit our website, www.bensenville.il.us. Live, learn, explore. Bensenville Community Television.
Hello, welcome back to Spotlight on Bensenville. I'm Frank DeSimone, Village President, and your host for today's episode. In this segment, we are discussing Bensenville's Senior Disabled HVAC Maintenance Program. Joining us today is Kim Bush, our Recreation Program Manager, and Lyle Perkins, Residential Division Manager for Comfort Indoor Solutions here in Bensenville. Kim, what are the requirements for participating in the Senior Disabled HVAC program, and how can residents learn more about enrolling in it?
Sure. So the requirements are incorporated Bensenville residents. You do have to prove that you pay Bensenville property taxes in order to participate in the program. Other than that, it is for senior or disabled. Senior starts at 60 years plus, and then disabled, they are able to prove that from the state with either their handicap placard or other documentation thereof. The only other stipulation is to make under $65,000 a year. These programs are really put together for those who are in need. And even though that might not sound like a whole lot of money to live on for a year, you are able to do a little bit more things on your own independently. And as far as applying for it, there's an application online at our website, or they can just stop in at Heritage Center with that documentation, fill out the application right there at the counter, and then we forward all that information right over to Lyle. So,
what basic heating system maintenance tasks can homeowners safely handle themselves, and what should they avoid trying to fix on their own?
Sure, great question. And with the proliferation of Google and ChatGPT, and we've talked about this before, Frank, I call that Dr. Google. So it's becoming more common now that people are feeling more emboldened to take on more complex tasks. I think the easiest things people can do is make sure there's no obstructions in your vents, your ductwork. Make sure you check your dampers. If you have dampers, make sure they're open. Make sure your registers aren't obstructed. A lot of people have furniture over registers, and then they wonder why their rooms are uneven in terms of heat and cool in the summer. Make sure that that the registers aren't obstructed. Get your furnace checked and maintained every year is the main thing I can tell you. And change your filters. Make sure your filters are changed out. Those are the easiest and most common ways that individuals can make sure that their furnaces are working properly.
If a furnace stops working on a very cold night, what steps should residents do before calling for emergency service? And what seasonal safety steps can they do to start each heating season?
Sure. So put a heavy coat on first.
Yeah.
Few things, and these may sound remedial, but they happen, and it's true. Check your filter. Make sure your filter has been changed recently. I was just sharing a story about my daughter living in an apartment, calling her furnace was out. I went over there and the filter looked like a science experiment. So check and make sure the filter isn't clogged, that it's fairly new, somewhat clean. Check your breaker, make sure your breaker didn't trip. And if all those things don't get you back up and running, then pick up the phone and call an HVAC professional. We have 24-hour emergency service, so we're always available to come out and help in times of need.
So what newer high-efficiency HVAC technologies, such as heat pumps, are being used more often locally, and what incentives or planning recommendations can you help us out with our residents?
Sure, absolutely. Let's break that down into the two segments. First, in terms of the technology, you had mentioned heat pumps. That is probably the technology that's being promoted the most. It is the most energy efficient system on technology on the market right now. And basically, what a heat pump is, it's an air conditioner in reverse. So it can cool the air in the summer, act as a normal AC, and it has a reversing valve which allows it to do the opposite in the winter, where it moves the cold air out of the house and it brings warm air in. It's all electric. There's no gas. And ComEd is offering rebates right now, $1,400 up to $1,400. In fact, they even increased that for the highest rated heat pumps to $2,000. That's an instant rebate, so that comes right off the top, right off the invoice. We do that so the customer doesn't have to make an application or anything like that.
Service, yes.
And then, unfortunately, there is a federal tax credit, the 25C energy efficiency tax credit of $2,000 up to $2,000. However, It's going to end on January 1st. So people have till the end of the year if they were to have something like that installed. But ComEd will still continue to offer those rebates.
So that's $4,000 off if you get it by the end of the year,
That is
right?
correct.
What does something like that cost to install? Ballpark me.
It depends. It depends on the size. I mean, it can go anywhere from $15,000 on up to $25,000, depending on the size of the home. Now, when you stack those incentives, now you're pretty close to what a traditional system might cost to install. So it does pay to take a look at it at the very least.
Okay, all right. Kim, the Heritage Center has begun reaching out to local businesses to offer additional saving opportunities for our Forever Young members. Can you share how this discount program will work and how businesses can participate if they want to partner
Certainly.
up with us?
Yes, we'd love to feature as many Bensenville businesses as we can through our Forever Young Club and our Heritage Center. Each member gets a membership card when they register with us, showing that they're incorporated residents or unincorporated each way. And then the businesses that decide to participate, depending on what the discount is, all they will have to do is show their Heritage Center Forever Young Club card, and then they'd be entitled to whatever that business is offering, whether it's 10% off of services, buy one, get one, you know, whatever they're willing to do, we'd love to take. And if anybody sees this and is interested, they can reach out to myself through email, give me a phone call, or Victoria that works along with me down in special events. And we'll get them all signed up. We'll see what discounts they can provide. And the more services and discounts that we can offer to our senior residents, the better it is. You know,
We don't charge the business to do this, and they can
Correct.
pick whatever they want to give out.
correct, yeah.
And we're going to advertise their businesses through our Forever Young Club.
Very much so, yes, yes. It's a lot like if you've ever had one of those Fenton cards before,
Yeah.
or one of those other type discount cards, only it's right with our membership, so.
One more time, what are some of the additional benefits of being a member of the Heritage Club and Heritage Center and the Forever Young Club, and how can residents join that program?
Perfect. So benefits, other than our HVAC maintenance program, we also do have a senior disabled grass cutting program in the spring and summer, and then a snow removal program in the winter. All of these are limited availability. We accept up to 100 residents for either any of one of those programs. But in addition to those great things that help subsidize costs that you're going to incur anyways on a basis, we have programming, lots of different recreation programs, monthly luncheons that are quite well attended. And then, you know, we're just always looking to add new and exciting things. We have a group of ladies that comes in and just plays cards down there. It's a wonderful place to be. There's always something going on the TVs. There's music playing, and there's always the 3 F's, fun, friends, and food. So.
Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Thank you for all the information. I appreciate that. And also, thank you, everybody out there, for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Spotlight in Bensenville.